Like, me personally, like, I didn't really question it. I mean, I guess I probably should have. Just like I always knew that my brother was gay, but I was like, oh, since he's gay, that means I'm not gay because like you can't have two gay kids, right? Because of that situation, like when I even like thought that I was, I'd like push it away and be like, no, 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 you're straight because like your brother's gay. You need to have like the traditional like Southern white wedding, like have like the traditional nuclear family that like my mom really, really wants me to have. Freshman year of high school is kind of when I was like, okay, maybe I like should seriously start thinking about like why I'm dating guys, but I'm not like emotionally connected to them. I'm not really physically attracted to them. I'm just doing it because I think it's what I should be doing. So, and then I still dated men because I was like, oh, maybe it's a phase type thing, like or something like that. But I dated this guy like for like 3 years in high school, and it just I did it because I thought I should. I don't know. I felt like I had like a really good friend, and that was it. And like to him, it was obviously like more than that, but like I never. I guess you could say like I never like fell in love with him the way that I guess like you should if you're like in a long term relationship. You know what I mean? But like right after high school, like I fell in love with this girl, and I was like, this just kind of seals everything. Like that just like confirmed everything in my mind. I was like, yep, definitely gay. I never, ever, ever told anybody that I was remotely interested in women because I was like, I'm from the South. I'm from like country outside of New Orleans, South. So it's like, it's not a place that I thought I would be very accepted. And I saw how other kids who were openly gay in my school got treated. I was like, okay, well, I don't want to be treated like that. The first person I ever told, I think, was my best friend Lexi, who I met junior year of high school, and like we got really close just because of like problems I was having at home, problems she was having at home, and like I think she's the first person that I told like that I was interested in women, but I didn't tell her that I was like completely gay. It was like, oh, I'm bisexual, like whatever. I think I just told like my like really close friends that I was bisexual. Just like I said, I wasn't ready to like accept that yet. Some of them were supportive, but I lost a lot of friends when I like officially came out or whatever, and those people just kind of like stopped talking to me, which is like that's their own problem. If they're gonna do that, then they can do that. Like that's not the type of people that like I need to surround myself by. But for the most part, like my friends were extremely accepting. They were very like happy, and like some of my friends have even been like bugging me to like come out for a while and just like be who I am. Like, and things just automatically shifted. People started treating me differently. Like people started looking at me differently. Like and like I knew I was being talked about, and someone finally told me why, and I was like, awesome. People just stopped talking to me and like started kind of like ostracizing me and kind of like pushing me out, like maybe hoping like, oh, we can't kick you out because you're gay, but maybe we can make you feel so bad that you leave. I like went downstairs and I was just like, hey mom, can I talk to you about something? And she was like, okay. So like sit there and like I started crying because I was like, I don't know how to do this. Like I don't know what I'm supposed to say. And like first thing she asked me is if I'm pregnant. I was like, no. And all of a sudden she was just like, are you following the same path as your brother? Just the way that she phrased it made me realize I was like supports my brother in this, but does not support me in this. Um, but I said, yeah. She's like, okay, well, I figured because you've been doing a lot of gay things with your brother lately. I was like what? She's like going to Pride and going to tracks or whatever. And I was like, yeah. So me doing gay things is what made me gay. Well, that was our entire conversation because I was like, I don't want to have this conversation anymore. See, my dad doesn't care, but I mean, you never really know what my dad thinks. But like, he treats my brother and I like we're the same. Like, he's never treated us differently. Like, even after the fact that he knows, he's like, still my children. Um, I think my mom has a problem with it, and one of the things that she told me like when I came out was that like I'm not allowed to tell the extended family. And like that's hard. It's like I'm really close with my dad's side of the family. Like how am I supposed to go up there and be like, oh, like hey, look at me, but I can't really tell you about me. It's like the first question my grandma was just she's like, so you have a boyfriend? I'm like, no, but I can't really tell you like why. And like, when I get harassed or like beat up or something like that, like my mom tells me it's my fault. like, because I'm throwing my gayness in other people's faces. So that these things happen to me, it's my own fault. Maybe the shock of having two gay kids. Like, you have two kids and they're both gay. Um, Even though, like, I want to have children, and I've told my mom multiple times, like, she's, you know, like, she'll have grandchildren because I really want children. But I think, I don't know, I think maybe she thinks she screwed up with me or something. That I'm not, like, gonna have, like, the nuclear family with the husband and then the children. It's just like, it's gonna be a nuclear family, but it's gonna be, like, me, another woman, and our children. But, I mean, it's not her fault. Like, it's no one's fault. Like I always felt like out of place when I wore dresses and everything like that. I was like, this is weird. I don't really like this. I'd rather be in like a t-shirt or like a polo or something like that. And so when I like finally decided to leave the store, I like cut my hair really short to kind of like give my mom time to adjust to that. And then over the summer, I was like, just cut my hair off into a faux hawk and started, I guess, like, wearing like guys' clothes and everything like that, just because like it's what I felt more comfortable in. I was like, it's like this is actually who I am. Like I'm not someone who's like bleach blonde, wears dresses all the time, wears a tons of makeup and everything like that. It's just like I just felt way more comfortable like dressing like this and like being like this. And my mother cried when I sent her a picture of my very short haircut. I emailed her a picture and her entire response was, "Oh." I was like, "So you don't like it?" She's like, I guess I have to get used to it." So she doesn't like it because now I look overly gay in her mind. Like, you know, like if I still had the long hair and everything, she could be like, "Oh, she's so not gay, like just, you know, whatever." And now it's just like, she feels like she can't really get around the fact that I'm gay. In a situation of that I had where me and two of my friends, we were just walking home from the bars, and it was like really early. I think it was like 11:30. We just like didn't want to go out, and one of my friends was walking ahead, and the other one was walking next to me, and they were like, "Oh, you're too pretty to be a third wheel with these two dykes back here," just assuming that my friend and I were together, and you know, like it pissed me off. So like I did like say something back. I don't really remember what it was, but like after that, like it escalated. Um, it was like 10 guys. They were screaming like "God hates fags," and they were like shoved me on the ground and like things like that. And so it's like you have those people that are going to be everywhere that you go, and there's no way to avoid them. Like, but what I learned is like if you don't give them the satisfaction that they're getting a rise out of you or whatever, most of the time I like that works as a way to get out of the situation. If you just sit there and take it, they eventually get bored and move on, which is what happened. But like the friends that I was with didn't do anything about it. They just like watched it happen and then, didn't say anything. We were walking away. They're like, "Oh, they're just stupid." It's like, great, they're stupid, but they just like threw me on the ground and like beat the crap out of me. Yeah, so it's great that they're stupid and that they're ignorant and everything like that, but you said nothing. And needless to say, like I'm not friends with them anymore. Those aren't the type of people that like I need to be surrounded by. I feel like letting it happen is maybe even worse than the people actually doing it, because it's like you're essentially condoning what they're doing by not saying anything or not doing anything. I was like, so you're condoning what they're doing, and this is like essentially like a hate crime right here, and you're letting it happen. So that speaks volumes as to like what you think and like what you actually like care about. The harassment before my appearance change was like guys being like, "Oh, you just need to be straightened out," or like, "I can straighten you out if you just come home with me, like I'll make you normal again," or whatever. You think that you can just change somebody just by like having sex with them, and that's really, really stupid and ignorant. Like you can't change somebody. Like it's not a choice. Like I didn't choose to be this way. I just like, but I am. And I love that. But like when you have those stupid ignorant people that are like, "Oh, like I can straighten you out," you're just like, cool story. Sure you could. Move along. There's no reason to like stoop down to somebody's level when they're like screaming faggot at you. Just like, "Oh, okay. That shows how great of a human being that you are. So I'm gonna be the bigger person, just walk away from it." I'd say don't give up, because and I love this part earlier, but like when in high school when I was like figuring this out about myself, I hated myself. I hated myself a lot, and I tried to kill myself because of it. And so, just like coming from that experience, it's one of those things. Just like, don't give up. Like, you are gonna be who you are. Like, you can't fight who you are. And if you do, that's just a shame because, like, who you are is like the most important thing. And it's just like, you can't give up on who you are. Like, yeah, you may be bullied, you may go through shit, your family may not accept you, but not to be cheesy, but it does get better. Like, and once you find like those people that you fit with, and like find like your core group of friends, like it's going to get better. So it's like you just can't give up, and you have to be who you are, like no matter the consequences, because those people that like bully you and make fun of you and whatever, and like make you feel that way, you just have to understand like they're the ignorant people, they're the bad people in the situation. Like, who you are is not bad. If you're really close to your family and you're coming out, and like if it's a big shock to them, it's one of those things where like you need to understand that like maybe you're like unsettling somebody's entire like thought process and everything, that like maybe they need time to get used to it, but in some situations like they're never going to get used to it, and it's really really hard. But it's one of those situations that like I say, like you have to expect one way or the other, and you have to work through it, because you can't live a lie with your family your entire life. And with your friends, if they're really your friends, they're going to accept you for whoever you are.